are in the lead. It'll be interesting to see what fast moves they're running. It looks like Arroh's on Spark and Housestark is on Water Gun, so Arroh's going to be favored here, which is why he initially pulled up that switch menu. And, just Spark's going to be doing better neutral damage and gets into those Thunderbolts faster.
Just a little bit faster, but definitely already Housestark's trailing behind for damage and energy. They're still kind of even, though. That's kind of funny, right? You'd expect the Spark Lantern and the Mirror to be miles ahead.
I mean, the thing is, it's hitting for neutral as opposed to resisted, but I think Water Gun, like, in terms of neutral damage, is a little better. At this point, they're both burning a shield. And now it looks like Housestark's looking to switch out. And good quick swap by Arrohh. Bringing in the Azumarill.
He still has that energy built up from his own lantern as well, too.
And so here, he does have the Ice Beam, but he's electing to charge up a bunch of energy first. Just in case this Altaria does go down, he has some energy already for the next fight.
Oh, no shield. It doesn't KO, though, so, at least Stark's able to reach that Sky attack, but this is really good for Arrohh right now so far in game 1.
Yeah, Arrohh can just farm down with Bubble at this point, and he's got a ton of energy now.
You think he's probably going to come back in with the Lantern, right? Yeah.
But Arrohh goes for that Ice Beam. Let's see. It's not quite enough, though. And now Housestark brings in his own Azumarill. They're like both on
has the Bubble Ice Beam Hydro Pump.
Right, so neither of them has play rough, so they're going to be basically even in the mirror here. Ooh, and Arrohh times it just right to bring in his Lantern and force that last shield with Thunderbolt.
You think he's going to shield here? I think he might. Oh, maybe he doesn't. He lets the Lantern fall.
Yeah, at this point, the Lantern's almost dead. Now he can bring in a full health Tropius with a shield advantage. He definitely likes where he's sitting at this point. Because the Ice Beam is going to do a lot of damage, and this Razor Leaf won't KO. So having this shield here is pretty huge, actually.
Yeah. They're both super tanky picks. Looks like they both have super tanky teams as well, and it's surprising too. Tropius even taking the double super effective from Ice Beam, it'll still tank it. No bubbles,
but it should still KO. But he's just hoping, just in case it doesn't KO, that he could get a little extra energy. And so good swap by Arrohh to bring in his own Azumarill and force a Housestark to use up that energy.
Now he's going to be able to reach that Leaf Blade. Little bit of lag, but he definitely...
It's mutual lag, though. Arrohh might just finish off with Air Slash, to be honest. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, Housestark on the left, Arrohh on the right.
All right, so Housestark's on the left and has to swap out immediately into his Lantern because it's a bad matchup. Arrohh opts to throw the Focus Blast right away, lands and does quite a bit of damage, and then he counter swaps into his Whiscash. Hydro Pump does a decent amount of damage and will hit for neutral, but Arrohh knows he can let it go because it's not going to KO. And so he farms a little extra energy here before firing off the Mud Bomb. He wants to make sure he gets that Mud Bomb off before Lantern gets to a Thunderbolt.
He kind of overcharged a little bit, but not too much. I think he timed it pretty well. But now, the Skarm comes back out. He basically... Does he bait? No, he just goes straight Blizzard. I think that's the right thing to do.
Yeah, worst case, they shield, and then, it's fine because you're up a shield and you bring in your Reggie. Or if they don't shield, then you do a decent amount of damage. And solid play by Arrohh there, just to use that Mud Bomb, just to maybe do a little extra damage, and he actually gets a shield at that point. And this is a really good spot for him to be in because both the Registeel and the Lantern are going to resist all the charge moves that Skarmory throws at them.
Yeah, I wouldn't shield anything the Skarm's going to throw at me at this point. You're basically a wall, so that matchup's, kind of boring. Not too much to say about it, but at the same time, Again, Arrow at this point has Water Gun, whereas Housestarks has Spark. I don't think he's probably able to farm a little more with the Water Gun.
Yeah. He's I think Spark farms a little better in the Skarmory matchup. But he's able to there. He burns the one shield and farms up a ton of energy. He's able to land that Hydro Pump. At this point, that Melmetal's almost dead. And he finishes it off just with Water Guns. All right, so we have a Tropius lead in the mirror, or Tropius mirror in the lead. And it looks like they're both on Air Slash here. So this is going to be probably bait and or CMP dependent.
So shields the Aerial Ace. It looks like, yeah, because I think they both pressed it at the same time.
And Housestark opting to bait here. Yeah. And he gets that bait. So Housestark is definitely ahead at this point.
Now we see him throw the Aerial Ace. And Arrow does not shield. No shield.
Oh, interesting. Housestark elects to switch into the Defense Deoxys and is able to take that Aerial Ace, which is not as good of a move in that spot compared to a Leaf Blade.
We can see too here. So Housestark's Deoxys does have Thunderbolt. I don't see many people honestly running Psycho Boost at all anymore. I don't think it really has that much use, but it's a good thing he has the Thunderbolt at least for this matchup against the Azumarill. But the Hydro Pump connects, dude.
Oh, man.
I think that was huge, having that Hydro Pump connect.
Oh, definitely. But, now Housestark is able to come back in with the Tropius. Oh, man, that CMP tie there. So Arrow does elect to use the shield so he can get this Ice Beam off. So he's able to force that last shield now. So yeah, now we're all shields down.
Oh, dude.
And Arrow swaps into that Reggie. And pretty good spot for him because even though he gets counter swapped here, he got a couple lock on, head start basically. And with the energy gain of lock on, a couple lock on head start is pretty huge.
Yeah, especially with the delayed response. And what is Bubble? Is Bubble a 2-turn move or it's a 3-turn move, isn't it?
I can't remember.
It's either a 2 or a 3-turn move. But I mean, with that delay and the time it takes for the Azu to hit that Hydro Pump, I think, those few extra lock-ons are huge as well.
Yeah, I mean, he just got to the third Flash Cannon before Azumarill was able to get to a Hydro Pump plus an Ice Beam.
Wow.
And that's huge.
That is that's great energy management, I think, is what that is.
And so interesting. Arrow swaps into the Azumarill in order to basically force this Tropius to use energy because just that threat of Ice Beam. I'm not sure what he's going to come in with here. So he does come back in with the Reggie. Will this Leaf Blade be enough to take it out?
Well, he's going to use the energy at this point. Then Arrow, I think, should be able to...
Oh no, Tropius was basically dead.
Oh, never mind. So Tropius, that's not great. It's not ideal.
This is a decent lead for Arrow, but it's not that great just because of how much damage Ice Beam does. Obviously not something Arrow's going to want to switch out of, but he is probably going to be forced to burn a shield if I had to guess.
I don't know. Would you shield though with this kind of open? Yeah, he does. Okay.
I mean, Ice Beam does a ton of damage. So, if you want to keep your Tropius, fighting, you definitely are going to have to burn a shield.
I would think, no shield here from Housestark.
Yeah, because, Leaf Blade isn't enough to KO.
Can comfortably take that, but he beats him to another Leaf Blade, though.
Oh, man. I don't think Housestark wanted to be in that position. I think he wanted to get that Ice Beam off and then maybe let the Azumarill go. So at this point, Arrow's in a good spot because he can just double shield now. And he's going to be sitting... Oh, interesting. So Housestark gets to that next Ice Beam before another Leaf Blade comes in. Tropius is down and shields are down.
I'd expect probably the Azumarill to come back in. Azumarill for the mirror. Oh, Reggie.
So he's going for a lock-on farm down Ooh, and great play. Swapping into the Azumarill to tank that charge move. So at this point, Arrow's Reggie has a ton of energy, and actually his Azumarill has quite a bit of energy too, because he was able to farm down with Bubble at that point.
That was very well played. Throws the Ice Beams right away, of course. And then the Azumarill at this range should tank a Leaf Blade. I don't know if it can reach a second Ice Beam, though, before they get another Leaf Blade.
I think he should, just how much of an energy lead he had.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah, easily.
Easy peasy for another Ice Beam.
And I think his switch clock is up or about to be up. So he's probably switching to that Reggie like immediately. Yeah, great switch to the Reggie immediately so that the Deoxys can't farm any extra energy. And he's just going to be spamming Flash Cannons here. That one Flash Cannon did about half. And this is an interesting matchup.
So because take the neutral from the Thunderbolt.
And like it's weak to Deoxys's counter, but like it's not that great of a matchup for Deoxys really.
Yeah. It's not that good at all. The Flash
it's one of the reasons
quite KO though.
It's one of the reasons I stopped running Deoxys, is it just didn't have that good of a Reggie matchup. I preferred running like a Toxicroak, for example. Alright, so an Azumarill Tropius in the lead, but it's reversed from last time. So this time Arrow's the one leading Azumarill into Housestark's Tropius. And pretty similar to how we saw it play out last time. An immediate shield on the first Leaf Blade. And then an immediate shield on the first Ice Beam.
Do you think Arroh is going to use both shields on this open?
No. Because he knows that he can get to he can tank the Leaf Blade and get to another Ice Beam. Oh, and good counter swap by Housestark into that Lantern. Knowing that Lantern can tank both an Ice Beam and a Hydro Pump.
Oh, Arroh counter swaps with the Whiscash immediately. And he's able to throw the Mud Bomb before Stark throws the Hydro Pump. So the pressure.
That's not going to KO though. But I mean, at this point, he gets a second Mud Bomb. So now he's, saying, Housestark, do you want that energy? And Housestark elects to let that go, not wanting to go down a shield. So this will be interesting here. Obviously, a Leaf Blade is just going to completely wipe out Whiscash. And Arrow electing to let the Whiscash go, it looks like. So he has Reggie in the back. I guess he just wants that shield, and he knows that Reggie has a good enough Tropius matchup to be fine.
The swap and counter swap that answered the counter swap. That always happens so quick.
Yeah, I mean, these top players, that's the biggest thing, is how quick they are in the... Oh, and Arrow barely gets that Hydro Pump off. That could be pretty big.
The one Hydro Pump?
Because at this point, landing that Hydro Pump, I think puts Azumarill like almost in Flash Cannon range.
Pretty close to it. Well, I mean, when you say that, it makes sense that he's going to shield up at this point. Because if it gets him close enough to be in luck.
Ooh, and Housestark gets the bait. He goes Ice Beam and gets the shield there. That could be huge.
It's kind of a tough call on Arrow's side, though. I think it was a good shield put. But now
he swaps in Tropius. This is going to be interesting, actually, because obviously Registeel's favored here, but that's too much health for him to be able to farm down with Lock On.
Yeah,
he's probably going to be forced to use another Flash Cannon.
Definitely.
And, even though these Leaf Blades are resisted, they still do decent damage. Like it's kind of adding up.
I guess the question is probably how much does he want to build up with his energy?
And, really good counting there, getting that Flash Cannon off right before the next Leaf Blade. And this is going to be close.
Oh my gosh!
Oh yeah!
No way!
Oh, CMP tie! Oh man!
That's what it came down to.
Oh, what a game! You can't ask for a closer game than that.
You really can't. It literally came down to a CMP tie. I think
Wow.
they both played almost perfectly in game 5. I'm kind of salty about it, but they both played really well.